You know that feeling when life feels less like something you're living and more like something you're just trying to survive? Well, if that hits home, this explainer is for you. We're going to break down a really practical guide to building calm and finally moving from that constant survival mode into a life with some real intention. Let's get right into it. Your daily life will feel less like survival and more like practice. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. This is the core idea we're exploring today. It's not about some massive, stressful overhaul of your entire life. It's about how really small, repeated actions can completely shift how you experience your day-to-day. So first up, we're diving into this idea of small acts, big calm. The big insight here is that true well-being, that real sense of sanity, isn't found in some grand gesture. Nope. It's found in the tiny, consistent things you do every single day. So what does that actually look like? Well, this brings us to a really cool concept, the microhabit. Think of it as a tiny little signal you send to your nervous system. Seriously, it could be just one mindful breath before you open your inbox, or maybe pressing your wrist to feel your pulse for a few seconds. These super quick physical cues are brilliant because they pull your attention right back into your body, and that's what breaks the cycle of those spiraling, anxious thoughts. And you know, this is probably the most liberating part of the whole thing. You don't have to be some Zen master. You don't have to get it right every single time. The only goal is to just show up, even if it's just for a few seconds. It's the consistency that actually rewires your nervous system, not one single perfect moment of calm. Okay, so how do we actually put this into a practical plan? The source material lays out a fantastic 7-day reset. Now think of it as a little training block for your nervous system. This isn't some crazy cleanse or a detox. It's just a simple way to spend about 10 minutes a day teaching your body a new, calmer default response to stress. And I absolutely love how this week is structured. You start inward, just tuning into your body with things like mindful breathing or a body scan. Then you gently shift your focus outward, maybe with a mindful walk or just taking a moment for gratitude. And finally, you end the week by reflecting, offering yourself some compassion, and really importantly, taking note of what actually worked for you. And you don't even have to wait a week to get started. Here's a tiny action you can literally take tonight. A simple 2-minute body scan before you sleep. Just lie down, slowly move your attention from your toes all the way up to your head, and just notice. Notice where you're holding tension. Don't judge it, just see it, and then try to let it go. All right, so once you start building that internal sense of calm, the next absolutely crucial step is protecting it. You have to create structures in your life that stop your nervous system from getting yanked right back into survival mode. And this brings us to the art of boundaries. Now, to figure out where you even need those structures, you have to ask yourself this very direct question. It's the first step in what the source material calls a boundary audit. And look, this requires some real honesty. What tasks, what roles, or what interactions consistently leave you feeling completely drained? And this is just a brilliant illustration of how to do it. You create a simple log. For each training thing, you write down why it trains you. Is it the time, the emotional labor? And then, this is the key, you quantify the cost. What are you actually losing? Is it rest, creative energy? Just seeing it written down like this makes that invisible cost suddenly very, very visible. I love this metaphor. After looking at all that data, this really lands the emotional truth, doesn't it? Boundaries aren't walls to keep people out. They are the essential framework, the architecture that makes your life a supportive and sustainable place where you can actually thrive. And hey, just like with the micro habits, you don't have to build this entire house all at once. The whole point is to just start with one small move. What's the one boundary that would give you the most breathing room right now? Start there. I promise, these small changes really do stack up over time. Now, let's be real. None of this works, the calm, the boundaries, without a solid foundation. And that foundation is, you guessed it, sleep. It's not just maintenance, it is the scaffolding that supports your mood, your decisions, and your ability to actually hold those new boundaries you're setting. Let's just sit with that for a second. Sleep is the secret muscle. It isn't passive, it's an active resource. It's the muscle that gives you the strength to manage stress and protect your peace. So the big question is, how do you build that muscle? Well, the key is to give your nervous system really reliable instructions. And you can do this with powerful environmental cues. In the morning, you signal on with a fixed wake time and getting some sunlight. At night, you signal off with dim lights and a cool room. These aren't just nice ideas, they are direct commands that literally train your body's internal clock. And if it's your mind that's keeping you awake, the source recommends about 20 minutes of what it calls cognitive housekeeping. I love that phrase. It's basically just about getting the worries and the to-do lists out of your head and onto a piece of paper. It's such a simple act of offloading that can reduce all that rumination and help you fall asleep faster. Okay, so you're building internal calm, you're protecting it with boundaries, and you're fueling it all with good sleep. The final critical piece of this puzzle is recognizing you can't do it all alone. Your individual habits are powerful, for sure, but they become truly sustainable when they're reinforced by a strong support network. And let's be super clear about what we mean by a support network. It's not just a list of names you'd put on an emergency contact form. It's a functional, practical web of resources, of people you can actually call on when life gets hard and your own routines just aren't enough. So take a second and really think about this. Who is in your web? The source material suggests making an honest map. Who provides that practical help? Who's that friend who just listens without immediately trying to fix you? And so important, you have to be honest and note if someone looks good on paper, but isn't actually there when things get real. So the huge point we end on is this. Calm is not a personality trait you either have or you don't. It's a skill. And just like any other skill, it's built through practice. So looking back at everything we've covered, a tiny micro habit, a small boundary, a new sleep cue, what will be your first small act of practice?